nam ena book bi ena Agyapedea ena yesi Nana Dodan Kwekufuado ene nebusua atro book bi ena omo implement book no ena book ne mu niam nko na omo use niam bebree when ye new about 100 na so aka 4 months ekoto aba NDC for strategy no but tactics omo use efitete eno na omo use omo nsua he 4 the same MPP the same NDC in the contest NDC for society omo the same strategy aba this time omo kofa book bi a omo akɔhye demu akeka stories news items omo keka bom nti asam ne ba omo afa no mo da ka ho omo keka ni nyina bom na omo de ato abonten say eye book bi a Nana Dodan Kwekufuado ne busu akɔhye demu na omo atwero na no na omo hwe na omo implement e wo Ghana ha. Complete fabrications, complete lies. How can we be so wicked as a people? Edi enkwa to me keke. Na wo petumi a wo opportunity, we live in a democratic country. Wo opportunity say obe chere Ghana ni na okwakoto aba no de enti oto aba ma wo ade na won kan no. Why do you fabricate stories? Your entire career mo party ne ba ye nyina mo party no consistently every single elections. This is the historical fact. Must come up with 1 or 2 lies to destroy your opponent. Why? Why? And then Northtown MP Honorable Sami Okudjota Blakwa aya no say ne propaganda ken. No kreno, no adane no. No aka no the brofo bebre bi afefa ho, no e biam. Enti sa wo kind na de ana wo tie so okasa, na wan to ogbo entie ni yi a, wo bedwe se de okane no kre, anti sa wo beto ogbo ase, no wahwehwe no say or the G votes. The same strategy. 90s 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2024, NDC and Sesaya. A yentro. No creba componim. Complete fabrication. Book no friend Agyapedea no. NDC for net snase. Na ya booka. Oko omo say na the wo book rimu bia no omo implement it. What the NDC has basically done is that omo niama na omo kikafa MPP ne Nana Dodan Kwekufuado ho before 2016 elections no. Ye ba power in the year 2017 pe. Na omo ka sa niama ni nyina abo mu. Omo ka sa niama ni nyina abo mu. Na omo throw the book. And I'll prove to you say they actually wrote a book in the year 2017. Changed that book in the year 2020 by simply putting together all the stories and news and incidences between 2017 and 2020 and they named it as an Agyapedea document. Into what do you ankoso a what kind book na wo fi say a book I throw da na niam woman ebem it's a complete fabrication. A niam ya reporting in news in for articles or matro stories and confortron or market boom no mo share book in the year 2020. But you see, Saniamo way air koswa. Some of us are not surprised, and this goes to my Gen Z friends. This is the NDC party. This is who they are. It's we are Gen Z. Maybe our kotoba won nim party no. No maka sembia tu timu to ujidia. So pick your phone, Google about the NDC party, and you see who they truly are before you make a decision and you make a choice. Omomam penino dio manim nanka se bien anwa kase. About tuombre ebesoa and chokakra omu the film ni ade. Mo me have video di okaye. Listen to what the former president himself said about lies during elections.
MRP, you know, say it drew election time. Na amanyo kubia epre. Nti ne obeka bia ama nipa akoma dane ama eno na obeka. Nti entra now they film. No cry now they film. Ya de frafra. No cry no ho yenka. Na ya de intro film.
Nti dia obeka bia ma nipa adwen adane ama ono eno na obeka nti entra na dia film no kra na dia film. This is a former president of our nation. This is supposed to be our role model. This is supposed to be the leader of this nation. This is supposed to be the statesman of this country, telling the young people of this country say amat one brain aso ye koto aba enti dia wo beye bia na wasesa nipa dwen no wo beye entra na wo di film enya miracles and make catch and your daughter Mahmoud Bamia na asoma me say me fa ma no be catch wa hwe video no One kasa wo de was what said your kaye na wa wo de weni hu no e wo video dum. How can we leave the destiny and the future of our country in the hand of such a person? A man that is seeking to lead this country, a man that is seeking to be president. It will be an anoka say, "Ambato bre aso." Dia wo be ye bia wo de be sesa ni padre no, wo be ye and try now the film, no cry now the film. How can we put our destiny in the hands of such a man? And this is they executing what the president, the former president, is talking about. The Omampeni, Dada Jomahama Ekano, and no pepe na if the 90s, ebepem 2024, NDC4, we lied for power, says Fonka. The Ashanti Regional Chairman of Friends of Nana Kunedu Ajimai Rollins has stated that the ruling National Democratic Congress lied for power. Rashid Abu Al-Hassan said all the things the NDC propagated against the SY Kufuor regime in the run-up to the 2008 elections were lies. All the things our leaders said about former President Kufuor's government were lies that were thrown with a view to causing public disaffection for the then government in order to make us win the elections, Abu Al-Hassan emphasized. Or say, and somewhere ye penny for any ye party no, ye kafa pampeni John Kufuor nyina na ye ntro no kreba kokrampo enim ye kanesa akwa enye ono pe na wakasa asem no momentie dia fifi kwete otwa ntro for pampeni Kufuor ne MPP aban in the year 2008 elections. Ghana for Gina sound tro no so because it's all the documents by omo printing documents so na mo printing Agyapedea book here you omo printing for Ghana he nyina anti we Ghana ni na book document bank statements e say omo mpeni Kufuor ne na ban ewia Ghana gold nyina akwa aburuchire and omo bank statement o wia Ghana scan nyina wo begedi nti no kre Ghana for bebreji die na ye to abama ndisi aban ye to ma ne wie na onya appointment omo ye the deputy finance minister and a parliament minister na tanya bia in some na wo kafa omo mpeni Kufuor ho no wa ba ban mu wahu wanya nyina so wakohwe gold no e wo ho na say eni ho mo mentie dia fifi kwetika ya.
Defense. Since then, have you had any evidence that indeed the MPP administration has sold the gold reserves?
Mr. Chairman, in offense, I mean, it was not long after that when it was obvious that the story was not true. And I was one of those people who clearly spoke to it because there was no basis at all to the story.
Did you use the same medium to publish that what you put out there boldly was incorrect?
Did I use the same medium to say so?
Yes.
I used even a greater medium, which was my voice, which traveled much further than even the paper traveled.
The chairman, this is laughable. This indeed.
This is the General Secretary of the NDC. That's all. On call baby, what is the inquiry? Then Pai Bonina say the new lie on my cookie. And they say book more of the Agyapedea book or my church at one or the Aswayano. Then Pai Bonina say baby. Na say Yamamboa, na say bim, na say ye didn't also to Abama in this year. Your car in 2009 after Owini power no. Sa no be catch Ghana for say book ne de ne yani keka boom in the swa omo. This is the NDC for you. And that's why we are saying that we shouldn't allow them to hoodwink us like they did in the past. Remember your mom kwai no mon dada it is no dada and nano na akano. Mo kai say me catch them say long before another dan kweku for the bar bemu as far back as 2008 and the NDC for sure say omo kan sem omo try say omo be ma achemfo na santefo ntemu ntokwa bia bem ntomo hyase say na dan kweku for the samoto obama na obeti asanteman ho odin so obeti asanteman tumi so obama asanteman ho odin akose na asanteman na obecheche asanteman hyase say omo preji omo ho ekon agina ho aboa emaga na manyina atumi aboa ye ho akabom no eyene na dan kweku fado se wo ogidie se na dan kweku fado betumi ate asanteman ho odin so a na me nim oman a wo frim enti ye ba mu in the year 2017 pe and then this is for ekofa the first book sa book no omoto ni din the Achim Mafia Plan. This is the book. The Achim Mafia Plan, the way forward after Nana Akufo-Addo. The first person who post the document way NDC ni Butros and Kwaku Yenchi opposed on 14 January 2017. This was 7 days. 7 days after Nana Akufo-Addo has been sworn in as president. The way forward after Nana Akufo-Addo is sworn in as president. And then unim omo tro book no essence no medi kan akato Ghana for nyina etim say Nana Addo de oni achemfo ba omo chechire oman nafa no mama oman no etese Ghana no ko meyi capital efin kan e de akoche bi omo ma asanteman ho de so aba fam omo keka sa na mani nyina nti omo kan yema no omo kan during sa campaign period nyina bomu de share book mu no omo de share homem right after Nana Addo came to power. This is what they did. Okay book na bedu baby omo say as for Alan Chemantin, his popularity once more has surged up with both within the party and the country. In all honesty, he has made so much gains for Nana Addo and our 2016 campaign, so we must be careful dealing with him. In spite of the good works by Alan, he remains the #1 threat with the potential to stand in the way of Kenuforiata becoming president after Nana Addo. NDC for etro book no sabe esane se nisuade hu nisua na adwen no anye emburo bi adwen tunti no omo ye mistakes nketenkete bi wade na omo tro ye nim ye be pa hu entoma akere mo. In this book 2017 version of the book no NDC for tro wo mu say omo ma ne ye ete say Nana Addo eni ne busu ayo ma adwen say Nana Addo fi aban mu a Kenuforiata na ba bedi Nana Addo ade enti according to the NDC this was supposed to be a planner. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo na ebusuafo follow. Enti Kenuforiata eba bedi Nana Addo ade na mom omo de omo adwi mu no omo se nipa obetumi ya ha Kenuforiata kaka na ye Alan Chemantin. That is what they put in the book. Enti say wutifie na say what kind book bi say ya. Of course. Quickly, why have beji book dedi? Because no mo si ahihye book ni ade no obeji ni nyina adie follow. Mamika say minchiro. Almost 4 versions. They have done 4 versions of this book. Now, what kind second version? No. Now, what kind third version? No. Now, what kind fourth version? Now, we say there is no connection between the 4 versions and this 2017 version. Because 2017 the year in some of them during campaign time. If I Nana Addo who amokikabo omuninti. Omo twenya ye 2020 no. No more year a second version. In the second version, what they did was that Niama SCC dada between 2017 yaba bemu no bepem 2020 no mo kan nyina abo munti omo fa story we a online story reshuffle Nana Addo beye oye wie ya no mo fa say o movie we fi ministry we ko we a na story ne ba no mo fa omo kan nyina abo mu no mo de share the second version, the 2020 version of the book. Sambre ni mwa ena minerals income fund, minerals investment income investment fund project na ban pese oye in ensuring say ye betumi enya ye sika ye gudie hu sika no bebre ne yetumi de acheche o man no Ejapa project na no ba be ye no sambre ni mwa na Ejapa project ne ba ye nti omu hu say now this Ejapa project has come and won sama ye bebre pe ina omo sesa book ni din from the Achem Mafia plan to the Agyapedea. And clearly, there was a 2017 book that was completely different. That book was a compilation of entronic propaganda. Omukafa na Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. In omuchenya ye do 2020 no. Ina niama SCC dada no. Omo kan nyina bomu into a book. And omo free book no Agyapedea, and the reason why they call it Agyapedea was because Tamanasa Ejapa project ne baso no propaganda omo de free mu ne say Nana Addo Akufo-Addo ene nebusuafo efa Ghana gold nyina akọ. And asa Ejapa project ne be a very popular term in Ghana. To the title of the book. This book na 37 pages. The very first one omo in 2020 no. Enti if you walk on bibia ba no mo de akohyem bibia ba no mo enti asem ni sie na anase nkomodie ni start say ekosoa no mo kan stories na no ma revise no da share book nim na you see esa ne say we de kan hu book no ba ko bi epenti So when sa screenshot na o ma second ho na say hey enti we so book nim enti we so book nim enti na beti dey be mu ka say oh na book no say yen trump a say dey wo mu bia no esisi enye no kre the fact of the matter ne say open ne kofa any of the books na kan wo be mu say content ni bia wo 37 nim no any 38 pages nim third version about current one no the 39 pages asam ni see ya no ma update no ma put it and out but esa say wo kan book ni nyina completely nti wunya hu person oh say way nti na we so wo book nim without really comparing. And I can tell you if you compare all the 3 books 1 2 3 4 versions of the book you realize that are completely different ebusuafo na sebe madaroma say yadwen nye adwuma kra say yadwen nye adwuma kra yembisa ye ho say na don kwaku for the na ebusuafo tenaze say ye be fa Ghana mine ye be ton afa na omo tro book no na book no omo call printing press e ka che printer say ya tro book e de ba be che Ghana afa enti yesrew print book ni man ne yen koton book no because me kan minua madam for pa Eugene say to or a journalist e wo Kumase or say I first came across this book in 2017 on KNUST campus. It was a hard copy document. That is the Agyapedea book or document. Is it real or fake? It was said to say or no in the year 2017 you know hard copy of sa book we na nye bia Mr. Mu. Enti nipa na mo say omatumi atena se atro book ema book no mo kremi say book no nsem nyina esisi no eti sa nipa we enhu nyansa ema mo ko print book no or the co printing press eye cover page eye bibia ekoton ye. I mean, how do you even expect a 9-year-old to even believe this? 9-year-old, me ba 9-year-old crowd will say them be like now where you dey? But of course and this is for a pia asayemre because omo dane nsem no into what one hour shall be said the omo kano eye no kre this page sa page we sa wokofa first edition we ya ube say this part of this document where it talks about EcoBank and osafoma afoba and senate no you realize that this document is not in this first document anymore. And see, what happened was that immediately omampeni Akufo the year such a kakra e was senate pepepe eno omukọ update document no eno almost share that document no nti esa ne say wo hu wei pen nti se wo say oma share bibi say no ma update no ma share that document here wadwen enkoso but the fact of the matter is that se wo ko sa first document wei ukohwe na ubia obemu say sa paragraph way on senate no it is not in this first document. Iti anye bia mpamocho na dan kwaku fa na ebusu afotro book no first version omo ye no mo ko print ye no mo ko tonton ye ana eliki ye okay omo ko tonton ye dia ene ebisa obaba 9 years kwa na cheche ni mu say asem we ono wo ka che na obaje dia na so man ko tonton so na eliki ye dia enti mpamocho first one liki ye second one liki ye third one liki ye how eba ne say ena EcoBank senate asem no any first version nim eba ne say ena senate asem no any second version nim the second version it doesn't have this insurance page wey nyina any first and second version nim eba ne say ena insurance page ni na enim enu ti make catch say the NDC for ye nyina ne say asem ni sia na say omo say asem na sipe no ma fa no da ko share omo update book no until normally you realize that normally what happens is that in the morning we be nyane no no ma fa page back no mo de say omo second ho no mo circulate but esa ne say wo hu we painti wadwen kra enkoso but I can tell you go and pick the 3 versions of this book you'd realize that there are a lot of things current version no ma ye no current version no mo de senate de ne be mu no mo de judges de Supreme Court judges here no ebe mu when you go and check you realize that they do not appear in the previous versions. That is how wicked the NDC can be. first version on 2017 and I'm the show no na mama ka say show say book no ye book and another dan kwaku for na busu afọ na tro ya anka 2017 version no should be the one that we should see being implemented. How come 2017 someone mo tro no emu bia mem until 2020 there na e be tro nsema SCC between 2018 and 2020 nsema SCC between 2018 and 2020 nkoa and a book 2017 there bibia sa enim. That is why I tell you say assembly sia no ma for no dia shame no ma share. It is never true say whatever is in the Agyapedea book is being implemented. Rather it is what has already happened. No mo fa no dia share book no ma distribute on fa no dia share book no ma distribute. And that is why each of the versions are kind you realize that some of the information no eni ebimu. That is the reason why it's happening that way. There are 4 versions of this book. And ebi wo kra some part of the book right obi article awakotro Professor Kweku Aza article awatro no atro CDD no omo fa ni nyina word for word no mo share book nim na mbisa mo question no na ekufa do ba mu no tro book 2017 and so otumi hu say Professor Aza betro article 2019 e ma ne fa Professor Aza article no tro 2019 no e she 2017 book mana. How does this even make sense? Opa kwa page 33 o page 33 ya obemu say Professor Stephen Kweku Asare book na ne article no troye e was Center for Democratic Development so omo for the whole article omo nja ba akumpo omo for the whole article no omo de share book nim na book na dan Kweku for the busu afọ troye say o de be chechire oman no e ba ne sen e na sa book no etumi ade a Professor Kweku Aza etro so many years after March 13, 2020. March 13th, 2020. There wa he nyina mo kan nyina yi book ni mu page 33. There wa page 33 of the book ni nyina no. Eya ade a Professor Kweku Aza na troye e de to online March 13, 2020. Omo copy ni nyina na omo share book ni mu. Na do tro book no March 13, 2020 na. Book na NDC for say na do implement no. E ba ne sen and at the year 2020 article Professor Kweku Aza atro no ni nyina ebe find itself in the book, everything verbatim word for word omo yi ba kokra free ho omo say the GATT Amalgamated Trust received 800 million from government to ensure that ADB Prudential Bank NIB were able to meet the minimum capital requirements set out by the Bank of Ghana. These banks are either government we nyina wo book rim anye bia banking sector cleanup no ye nemreben book I will say a strategy. Obi ba abemu watro or they running on mine. Supposedly a blueprint document or they running on mine. How did you get to know about 800 million specifically that was given to Amalgamated Bank? Omo decide way a share book. That is why when you go to the second version of the book, immediately a Bank of Ghana release the idea way on the 4th January 2019. Resources from GATT will be used to recapitalize the 2 state-owned banks to help drive and promote. Share book page 33. No more tambe page 33. And book also be a strategy I will implement. The person says the Ghana Amalgamated Trust received. It's another babemu. No strategy. But one trust strategy this we do 2020 no and try all trust. These are all stories are a CA banking sector cleanup 2018 2019 stories. A CA in a 2020. Mode share book and let me show you. This is the book. Cover page of the book. Please can you open the PDF file of the book for me? The cover page of the book has the date. Please open the PDF file of the book for me. The cover page of the book has the date of the year of the book, AD 2020. AD 2020. AD 2020. That is where you can find a friend is saying book no. And then when you open this book, great. Okay. This is the date of the book. AD 2020. AD 2020. It means that it is established. Say this version of the book was written in 2020. This version of the book was written in 2020. How is anybody convinced that a strategy book was written at the end of somebody's tenure? How does it even make sense? How does it make sense? A strategy book that has articles of people, a strategy book that has news from online portals. How does this even make sense? But we are speaking about this today because your former president, what in an abeto adiewemu fake and the party for ye and a support fake document, completely fake document. Now okay, I say book ni dey ABA fake and so niam wo mu ni nyina ne dey aban no implement it. What is true is that niam wo mu ni nyina niam SCC because ye banking sector cleanup. It is about a book in 2020. Now the banking sector cleanup shiba munye because they see that. Munye because they see that. Ofa book na. In fact, in seminar affair na esi no. Omofa normal update no dey shame. Into of previous version of the book. Sa in seminar esi and no dey shame no. With the previous document. You see it only in the current document. In fact, some of them they almost share book ni nyina o. Eya no be twa book no. One page bi no mo the red pen afa ho no ma share but esa say ya kan book no ye ho painti eno wo 2027 say oh na say the wo book ni mu nyina no eno na ebe mu no. I can dare you go and pick the book and tell me one thing that is in the book and see here abem every single thing that happened between 2017 and 2020 is what is in the book. Adie bia NC wo book ni mu no and say between 2017 and 2020 in here, so it hasn't happened. But the book is simply a compilation of things that have happened between 2017 and 2020 stories, Bank of Ghana stories, individual person stories, or matro, no more the abeshim, Niama akoso dada, news portals are reporting, no more copy, no more the abeshim book. How are you telling anybody that this is a strategy document? How are you telling anybody? So this is a strategy document. To the sense, to be cast a friend is saying in the book, almost say na Danko Kufado and in the Russia allies. And you know, they are Russia for Bekebia no Beye. In fact, the evidence even Danko Kufado, a lot of the decisions that the UN has to do with Russia Crampono or to about differently. Ghana, you to about in a different way. So how do you even support any argument with that? Almost say, a picture be. And the picture is supposed to be Nana Seforiata the first. Nobody has a book name. They say, almost say a chem for Beji or minor fa into almost far picture. No, two kind book now. Almost says our group picture way, a book name. And according to them, this group picture is supposed to be Nana Seforiata. Mr. Ebo, February 1st, 1896, exiled Prempeh the First and his retinue arrived at Cape Coast. Nana Prempeh the First, and then the powerful in Fonini. And so NDC for e da kwahye book mu say book and another dan kwekufa den ne nebusu afo troye no omo nim omo hire e no omo nim asanteman hene. So mistake omo ye no omo ye book na omo paper omo hu nti they couldn't find a picture of Nana Seforiata the First. No omo kofa picture wo Google ye Nana Prempeh the First no omo di be hye mu na wo gidi say Nana dan kwekufa den nebusu e tro book na so omo person omo de Nana Seforiata ba book ni mu a on back of father say Prempeh picture on be mistake. Who did it? So on be mistake because the NDC were cooking this and they didn't know, they didn't have a picture. Picture they put a wrong picture in place of Nana Seforiata and they are telling us that we should believe it. A book that has Nana Prempeh the First as Nana Seforiata is supposed to be a book written by Nana Seforiata and his family. Assembly see no more kofa no more share Absa Bank nidin Absa no I think the name came around February 2020 inti abane say na book na na dan kwakufa na ebusu afo atworo almost on be bu on mind na do ba mu 2017 na do to me say Absa formerly Barclays. What it means is that Absa na enka no ye fe no Barclays so nidin sisa call Absa in the year 2020. How is anybody being convinced that this is a strategy document? This is after assembly series no mako update book no assembly see ya no mako update book no esi ya no mako update book no ebi won so omo de omo hwehwe a etie miracles no em say jama wan hwa ye be no information minister ye be no energy minister miracles na eni emesi kono wan hwa ye be no education minister ye be no friend say petroleum minister no mako update. We would in the year 2020 make Dennis Miracles Abuaje the energy minister so that he can nobody share book him far na fa and far let you say in fact in some of the versions grandpa no omo yi free mu omo yi niam na bi o maka den free mu Barclays Bank Ghana now Absa Bank 2020 February. How do you tell me say booka ya tro in some na wo ni nyina ye niam SCC dada no ma catalog the omo tro kye mu a enu nyansi ya in the past and say ye tro book ni bia no ensi. Listen, omo tro book no second version somewhere in 2020. Now, adie bia was that 2020 book in bia BBAC between 2017 and 2020. There is not a single incident a book in my SCA AC between 2017 and 2020. There AC bia in 2024 2023 no any book in a update on my ya so for first version now you will not see the current matter in that version. Every other thing they said never happened and nothing of such has actually happened. Nana Dankwa Kufuado. Any Gabi Otreda Koni MPP etro book ama MPP. Best spell Kojo upon Kroma dinze. Kojo upon Kroma. Na akwala awoji subscribe to me spell Kojo upon Kroma dia on your mistake. But you see, because we transfer, because we yanda denti, and we prepare Kojo upon Kroma no, ni dinu kwa we hutro. Mo say is Kojo o say we make Kojo upon Kroma Minister for Communications Minister. And you be a communication minister. Adena mo kase a perfect document. Be a kosono. I am going to communications minister because they see ya no makofa. We don't petchina. May you go upon that ministry. We want another version of the book aba. No much trouble for. In the next government, 2021-2024, government has already convinced Nana to move Kojo upon Kroma to the communications ministry to continue the clampdown on the opposition, as well as not too friendly radio and television stations. He is already excited about this promise on two grounds. He will be deemed to remain one of the loyalists for the future. Secondly, that ministry has one of the richest, hence a conduit for him to increase his. Nyase biye nim. Osha buafo no kra nye. Buafo no kra mo retwa book nye de. Buafo no mo retwa book na ngasa kra nye de. Wo baketua or was free senior high school SHS1 kra no. O kan buafo we mo say adwin na deep buafo na chi no kra nti. E ma buafo no ye de. Kojo upon command didn't say this no. Nti MPP4 any friend say na Dankwa Kufuado betro friend say Kojo upon kromadi no meti Kojo upon kromani odaso e wo ban nim onye communications minister or a minister for works and housing or ye afuase ye before member of parliament ni di say ni expel no. Bank of Ghana report e bae Bank of Ghana release report no. Bank of Ghana release ya no mo faye no mo de share book nim no mo share book no. How do you write a book in 2020 and compile stories and incidences between 2017 and 2020? About the same outro book in 2020. Now compiling your ACC between 2017 and 2020. Now the share book. Now for any time you BBC no akwa update. Over 3 versions of the book I'm saying different. Ebi wo ha esi na e wo current version nim. Wo hwe previous version nim. Enti sabe madaroma. Nipa na mo so mo book no ma bin to mo tumi implement bibia no. Nti mo nim nyansa. First one leak here. Second one leak here, third one leak here. Aba. 2017 dey na mucho ye no. Ba kumpo ni wa abem. It is only the 2021 am compile here. Modern crowd stories in online portal share no. Na modern am say everything is being implemented. I dare anybody to bring me the book. Let us sit down, pick all the 3 versions and prove to me which of the things in the book are NNC is not there. Everything in that book is what has happened. And now when it happens, then they will update and share. That is why there are 3 versions of the book, apart from the 2017 one. Not a single thing in the 2017 version has happened. One impo, any 2017 mo esi. 2020 they no more cast stories in the bombe. No more they actually okay we are. Now say hey, where is here? But you see, you assume say book near 2017 no more. omo cho no 2020 enu nti na banking sector clean up wo no ko banking sector clean up in 2016 na ba 2017 book mu. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Now afede 2017 book no wo kan a omo say Kenoforiata na beji na Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ade nti de omo ye nyina no strategy omo de Kenoforiata e ba be president. Edu 2020 version omo ye no 2020 version no afede omo say in the 2020 omo say the person of northern origin should be the heir apparent. Omo tron to say Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo na iron strategy bi. Nti Dr. Bawumia nya ba yi running mate na wo book ni mo. Why in the way party mu a as at 2020 on to me predict say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was going to be the flag bearer of this party. Why? E see ya no mo da shame. E shame pe no mo take screenshot. No ma cycle. Say na ya mo ye screenshot no. Say. Nti say we e ba na say ni previous version ma say no mo ye no. No ma share we. Nto mo share we sana. Na wo kan we ya because we dey can who book ne ba ko that say but I can tell you who cover the previous version now can you say we enim. You realize that eno enim. As for Alan Chamanti, I think I've read this already. So 2017, our prediction was that Alan will be the flag bearer. 2020, we say I'm fana afede. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was the obvious choice, no. You know, we call updating book, no. You know, we say a person of northern origin will be say, and then when you see it, you say, oh, at the end of the day, your friend is saying, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia befa, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo that plan a book in that complete falsehood. Complete fabrications. Almost and Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo plan say or best shut it down radio stations be NDC for no what you know their MPP but radio station back NDC in India ya shut it there their MPP. Mention one. But let it happen tomorrow. They'll go and pick it and put it in the book. Omo kaya kai say Nanado MTN everywhere you go. Omo kaya kai say Nanado ebek go MTN. Omo kaya me why the same people are moving around saying say Nanado protect MTN. Omo kaya kai say Nanado ebegu MTN. Omo kaya kai say PDS assemble ECG PDS assemble pe no mo edit book no mo di PDS share. It's when you go and take the second version of the book PDS in him but the third version it has PDS. Me wa PDS Nanado in the trap PDS mu. Mustafa Hamid in our essay and ebu bie no wa no kreba akompo ewum. It is quite obvious say this whole book of Agyapedea omacheche no a complete fabrication of the NDC. And idea omo ye was so enuti nene omampeni nankasa former president Mahama nankasa enso ekebi no. Nanka yasem a nko bia wadi omampeni de insem bi say misinformation and disinformation bi say de won fa wano entum anka disinformation and misinformation say there nka won for one ntum but on enei ordinary to mu ekokan ya ka wo ye friend say the campaign to say ade ne de empo ti da kai o say empo say book na ye fake cry de wo mu ne de it is all being implemented mo boss video ne ma me mesrem quickly na fan wrap it up.
Recently there was an issue about a document called Agyapedea. They said it's fabricated. But even if it's fabricated, the implementation is not fabricated. Because everything that is written in that document has been implemented. So if really somebody sat and fabricated that document, then the person can really...
And my former president, no? Ye nyina former president. Obia former president. Odi atroy hene, your Mahama. Odi atroy hene, your Mahama. Ono ne bi na no kan say politics there. About one dress wa. The obeke bi obete say nipa dwe no beka. Entro na the film. Ogina campaign trail. E mo no so caf misinformation and disinformation. Say book ni mpo na ye fake. Everything in the book is being implemented. I dare one person to come. Let us sit down and pick the 4 versions of the book from 2017 to the version 137 page, version 238 page, version 830, version 339 pages. Which of the things are in the book? Now we are gonna for obianje copy. They said the book can be a basic BM. And yes, see here no more update. Never ne say na book back more versions back 4. Ade am say strategic document and nipa ne prepare answer oba be mu no. E ba ne say na throw the 2020. book no what show on the 2020 and so when I'm say book no ye booker ye implemented because nipa no try and so ba mu but the book was written in the year 2020 na na do ba mu 2020 niema esi 2018 e wo booker what show on the 2020 mu I will say it's implemented at the end see 2018 banking sector cleanup 2018-2019 year no so the best book mu say meye who the best 2020 book mu but it's 2018-2019 why are we this wicked why is the NDC so wicked and the NDC for mutumo densa and the NDC for mutumo esum sa why boni ben and on my way ya NDC for all the way from the 90s 1992 1993 1994 5 6 all the way from the 90s bepemune mu de eno mu kwa batuo bia mu betwa ntro muntumi mfa no koreka to say emfa nkwa batuo mu muntumi nka nche nipa no de ntu omonto abamamo this is more than trolling contempo akasa ye de we 2024 1990 no man fi mu a ye de ebe fi mu 2004 elections na man fi mu a ye de ebe fi mu 2008 elections na man fi mu a ye de ebe fi mu 2012 2016 elections no man fi mu a ye de ebe fi mu. This is 2024 the new generation of the MPP Agyapedea grow mutual and try 100 times you best spend it time 200 times need the judisa and trono enumere ade ba akope ene ebedi hu dwuma Agyapedea book no a complete fabrication of the NDC enyi nyina so keto say enye book bia edi twemu ebronti ase so bia eye booka NDC for keka stories online news online stories bubo mu niamba ACC dada no mkeka bo mu no mde bi eden eka ho na adechi bia no BBC no no mofa no mo dishim enti book no your versions ba ko mako 4 o fa sa versions 4 na e bia yesronko version 1 no ye 2017 dia no bibia enimu a esi ye 2020 omu se 2017 dia no hwi ni mu esi no mbeka niamba ACC from 2017 to 2020 eka bo mu eye book elutina even things that happened in March 2020 krano e wo booka nipa no so tro in 2017 booka na nadu dan kwaku for the tro ye no wo say all person of reata picture no ehu na okofa asantenhene nana prempe the first picture booka wo say na nadu tro ya so ba mu no nyema ACC 2020 March April February nyina e wo bookrim booka wo say na nadu dan kwaku for the tro ye no e ba ne say na Professor Kwaku Azaa story a otroye in 2019 or 2020 e wo book anado na atena so na otro e ba ne say na Professor Kwaku Azaa story e wom na de ya kware say omo de Professor Kwaku Azaa story ne be mu as if say na nado na yeden e tro ye ma ho kwan e man tro say enfefe e wo ye my way mu going into the elections. Ghanaians deserve better. Ghana for yourself at say mo be treating you with respect and dignity na mo di obuo amayen be ka che de a wopɛ sɛ yɛgyina so ɛto abama wo bɛkyerɛ yɛn nhyehyɛeɛ a wowɔ menni adwuma mepɛ adwuma kyerɛ me de a wobɛtumi ayɛ na adwuma ba mentumi nkɔ school because mentumi ntua kyerɛ me kɔ a bɛfa so a metumi akɔ school mentumi rent dan because menni sika metua rent kyerɛ me kɔ a bɛfa so a bɛma me rent sika meyɛ mfidi adwuma menyɛ sika na me de ahyɛ me adwuma mu bɛkyerɛ me kɔ a bɛfa so a bɛtumi nyɛ sika e de ahyɛ me adwuma mu me oba me di dwa wɔ dwa so mepɛ mboa na metumi amedwadi akɔso bɛkyerɛ me de nti abetumi aboa na medwadi ayɛden akɔso me ya brand me pɛ sɛ me hyɛ adwuma sɛ foforo kyerɛ me de nti a ɛkwan a bɛfa so abɛboa me na metumi nya ahoɔden ɛda hyɛ me adwuma sɛ sei na yɛyɛ politics John Mahama say abato mbre so a de abɛka bia sɛ nipa adwo no bɛyɛ entro kra na de afim Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye entreat nipa saa e de obuo ɛne ahobrɛseɛ ɛne ani nipa tena wo de nipa fa saa kwan no so a na wabu nanim tia wanfo buo ma no ono ogidi say yeto abama na obe make sure say Ghana mebu ebetumi nya school mu kwan no manya skills o mu hia no mo de abeye adwuma obe make sure say mfidi adwuma ye bie no ye be bie aka ho automobile companies no dodo beba enu nti omo be ko technical and vocational school no o de mfidi no dodo beba om workshops nim no mo de sua ne tumi akwanim no mo wi o metumi abenya adwuma ne biaye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say obeboa ema 1 million young children ye train omo in digital and IT skills no metumi aye enwuma e wo wiase afa na nyina Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye nuanom ye papa no mo import ne ma fi abroche ene mo ye businesses o mo di dwa no or the new tax regimes aba wo ho beto duties na wo port no obeto se hwim na wo make sure say duties no ene Togo de no Ebeyepe and Ibeko Femaseno. Or say duty, yen tuya duty or dollars bium, duty, you be tuya in cedis, you be calculate in cedis. Empo, exchange rate in our portal, or so be pegano, no de gina faco. Send a beya, ube to me a predicte, no way to me who's kelbe here, a de uniama. Or say, Ghana mebu nyejidi wunimuse, a quembi or before so be ma Ghana, any abuchi mine, abeye peno, or before so no ma only abuchi ma abeyepe. Or jidi, say we chi. What do you compare other countries? Nemu oyobia owo enisudi friend say enisudi hu owo gidie kase se bia wo pese wo ye no sa woni omanfo ne kabom na mo nyina mo de akomakro adwenkro eya de mo pese mo ye bia ebebem oma ye nyina so a ye nyina so efato abama no ye ndi atem ye kasentie nipa ye ntwantro ye nkasakasa nchia ye de ane se owo adwenfoforo na adwensronko de bebo oman no odi ne huni ne hote owo akomapa owo do ema Ghana ese former president Mahama monto abama no why momboa no no menya konwa no na de ono so betu ye no ombeye ne yenhwe aha the next chapter show nyame ya doma ya wada ye besa so ehia wa ha. To my Gen Z people, I keep telling you, this election is for us. This election is about us. Let's be ready to understand the issues and vote based on the issues. Under no circumstance should we let anybody at all, exchange our future for their own personal gains. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is running against a former president, a man that had an opportunity to cause change in the lives of the people of this country, but failed woefully. A man in whose time, when we had difficulties and challenges, told us clearly that he's turned into a dead goat and he cannot be bothered by even sharp knives. A man who looked us in the eyes and told us that he's not ready to negotiate with our medical officers who were simply asking for better conditions of service. A man who said that he has seen so many strikes even during his first term and can no longer be bothered. A man who left this country in darkness for the entire period he was in office and sat down and ensured that thousands of jobs were lost, millions of people stayed at home, factories shut down. A man who sat down and allowed hundreds of thousands of young Ghanaians drop out of basic junior high school after basic education simply because their parents could not afford. This man surely cannot be one we can leave our future into. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been a fantastic vice president. One of the most vibrant, unarguably the most active vice president we've seen in our lifetime. A vice president that is willing to work with us to fix our challenges. He's one that believes that a lot has been done, but a lot more remains for us to achieve as a people, and is ready to rally us all together behind him and lead us into the future we desire and aspire for ourselves. Let's vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, not just for us, but for our friends, our brothers, and the generations unborn. I'll see all of us again on Thursday.